what your mind is often saying to you is, what if you forget? What if you misdirect and start talking about things that don't have anything to do with the presentation? The question I want you to ask yourself when you find yourself asking that what if is, what if I don't forget? The second mistake that people make when it comes to PowerPoint is filling their PowerPoints with words, and more words. This is horrible. It's a horrible mistake, very horrible mistake that you really want to avoid making. And one of the things that I've come to learn in the course of coaching people and working with people and designing presentation slides for people is that one reason why people do that is they are afraid of forgetting what they have to say. So that fear of forgetting what they have to say causes them to put everything on the slide so they can read the slide and say the things that they believe are important. I was working on a PowerPoint slide the other day, and basically what the person had written on the slide was explaining things. So this professional wanted to describe something, okay, and he was just using just normal words that he would use to explain that if he was speaking to you verbally, then he just put it on there. And I knew why he did that when I saw that. He didn't want to forget. He didn't want to look for words when he was in front of the people that he was going to train. Now, the first thing I'm going to say to that is you have to overcome that fear. You have to overcome that fear of, what if I forget? What if I make a mistake? What if I begin to ramble? You have to overcome that fear. And how do you do that? You have to ask yourself, because what your mind is often saying to you is, what if you forget? What if you forget? What if you misdirect and start talking about things that don't have anything to do with the presentation? The question I want you to ask yourself when you find yourself asking that what if is, what if I don't forget? What if I remember everything? What if I don't ramble? What if I go straight to the point? What would happen if my presentations are successful? So what you've just done is that you've shifted your mindset from a negative outcome to a positive outcome. And that is where you always want to keep your mind, on positive outcomes. Now, if you have stage fright or you struggle with stage fright, I would encourage you to get a copy of my book, Beat Stage Fright for Good. Beat Stage Fright for Good. The link is in my bio, or you can also go to my website, buifenomeh.com/books, to get a copy of that book. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to link it up in the description box below. So go ahead and get yourself a copy of that book. Besides the techniques for overcoming stage fright, I have lots of exercises on that book to basically coach you through overcoming stage fright. Listen, you can do it. You can literally shed stage fright off of your skin. I did it, and I've helped hundreds of other people do it. So I know that you can also do the same thing. So grab a copy of that book. It only goes for 3,000 naira. So just grab a copy of it and work on your stage fright. The second thing that you have to do is include just the keywords on your slide. Keywords are words that capture the message that you want to pass across from every slide, and just use that as a way to jog your memory to what you need to discuss. So if I had made a slide for this, I would basically have on my slide presentation mistake number 2, heavily worded presentation slides. And if I move on further, I would say 1, fear of forgetting. So instead of having all those sentences about the fear of forgetting, I just have fear of forgetting, and it will jog my memory to what to say. 2, use keywords, and it will jog my memory on what to say. So that's what you want to do. Use keywords that remind you of what you want to say. Now, this is so important because when you have a heavily worded slide, there are 2 things that happen. The first thing is that you tend to read your slide, and the moment you're reading your slide, the moment you turn to read that history textbook that you have on there, you lose that connection that you should have with your audience to keep them engaged and focused on what you're saying. The second thing that happens is that your audience also loses touch with you and just focuses on the slide. So they start reading. And like if you have someone that is a faster reader than you, they would finish and their mind will just zoom out because they've already finished what you're still reading. So their mind will go somewhere else. And you don't want that interference, that internal interference happening when you're delivering a presentation. At the end of the day, people would not have listened to you, and if they didn't listen to you, there's no way you're going to get them to take the actions you want them to take at the end of that presentation.